I'd like to thank you very much. I captured you there on short notice. Could you give me maybe your reflections on what civil rights means to you?
Well, when I think back in 1968-69, I was a young child growing up in Bogside. We lived just adjacent to Free Derry, in that wall. We lived on 63 Lecky Road. And at that time, there was a lot of tension in the area. I have vivid memories of RUC riots going on. Outside each store, they almost seemed to be a bucket for a lot of the rioters. We would be passing with vinegar in it. My mother was a very active campaigner at that time. She actually went to England, to Westminster, to protest. At that stage it was for a one-man vote, as it was called then. But Burntollah Bridge, the riots that took place then, the marches that had ensued all around that time, many of my family members had been in attendance, and you were always frightened in terms of, at home as a young child, I was probably quite restricted insofar as my mum wouldn't allow us out that much, especially the younger elements of the family. But we were always conscious that my brothers and sisters would have been in attendance at the marches, and we were always glad to see them come home. On reflection, as someone now who has been very much campaigning for a Bill of Rights and as Equality Human Rights spokesperson, someone who has been affected very deeply about Bloody Sunday, 9 years of age, I can still see those coffins up at Craigan Chapel and asking the questions why. And the state was not for turning. And many people who had been involved in the civil rights campaign subsequently criticised the actions that I and others took, who analysed the situation, asked questions why the British Army was on our streets, realised that we were not going to get the kind of rights and the violations of the rights and entitlements of the Republican nationalist community, and therefore we took up arms. And I think, unlike other civil rights campaigners, that you can see that those who had been involved around the time of Bloody Sunday, almost I felt as someone growing up abandoned us for near enough 30 years, criticised us for taking up a struggle that they started. And I think that on reflection, sometimes now 40 years on, I listen to what appears to me to be revisionism. And as someone who spent 13 and a half years in prison, at a time we had to defend ourselves and defend our people, and the armed struggle was the right thing to do. However, thankfully we've moved away from all of that, and in the context that we find ourselves in now, in a new political dispensation, we are still fighting for rights and entitlements for all of the people who live here. And what we need to hear is a common voice and everyone coming together, and nobody trying to undermine the entitlements that we have, the hard fought for and won entitlements. So even though we need a Bill of Rights, we also need the kind of protections that are in place so that there could never be majoritarianism again, and that this city can never experience gerrymandering in the way that it did.
That's great. Bertina, I would like to thank you. I've grabbed you there on short notice. Thank you very, very much for your time.